The title of my autoethnographic research is The Struggle to Become the Audience. The phenomenon that I was researching is how difficult it is for me to find media I'd like to consume. With so much choice on my fingertips, I still find myself unsatisfied with the selection of media I have. It takes forever for me to choose a song I'd like to listen to on my phone, and even longer for me to find something I'd like to watch on Netflix. I participated as an audience in two separate events. The first was a Monday morning when I took note of my music listening habits from 7 a.m. until noon. I recorded when I was listening to music and how I listened to the music, skipping songs or letting them play through. The second instance in which I participated as an audience member was an evening when I watched a Netflix movie with my roommate. This lasted considerably longer than the length of the movie we ended up viewing, since it took so long to find a movie we could both agree on watching. During my music listening autoethnography, I acted as an audience member at home, the bus, and at school. Right when I woke up, I popped in my earphones, still in bed. I went about my morning routine listening to music and trying to be as quiet as I could since my roommates were still asleep. I then left for class, listening to my music. This continued even when I got to class since I was a little bit early. When class ended, I popped back in my earphones and made my way home, still listening to music. On the bus, no one was talking to each other. Instead, everyone was listening to their own things. I found that I didn't change the song while I was waiting for the bus since it was so cold outside, but I did find myself scrolling through my phone changing music once I was on the bus. At home, I listened to Spotify on my computer while I sat on the sofa for a couple hours. I realized the only time I wasn't listening to music all morning was while I was in the shower and couldn't wear earphones or during class. I participated as an audience member to keep myself distracted from the monotony of waking up early in the morning for class and waiting for the bus, which feels like forever in the winter. The location of my second media event was at home in my living room. I sat on the sofa with my roommate and we watched a cheesy 90s action movie called Anaconda. We joked around and talked throughout the whole movie since it was a little ridiculous and over the top with its 90s CGI. I was an audience member of the movie since I thought it would be a fun time. During my music listening, the sense I engaged the most was my hearing. But what I noticed was that I didn't even pay attention to the music sometimes when I was reading something or answering a text. So the sense of hearing went in and out. When I was listening to Spotify, I chose a playlist that I had never heard before, since I had already exhausted all the individually curated playlists of music I might like. I chose the 2000s throwback playlist. I felt a ton of nostalgia hearing songs that I hadn't heard in a decade since they were played on the radio. I found that I didn't skip many songs on Spotify, since it was fun to hear all the old songs that I hadn't heard in a while. While watching Netflix, I felt pretty relaxed. It was fun to check back and forth about what movie we would watch. When we finally settled on the movie Anaconda, I felt in a pretty good mood the whole time since we were joking around and talking. Now I'll discuss what I learned during my study. I learned that despite having thousands of songs and movies at my fingertips, it still takes me a long time to find a song or movie to watch. I noticed I frequently changed songs while I was bored sitting in class or at home. The only time I didn't feel compelled to constantly change songs was when I was listening to that old 2000s playlist and was discovering old songs again. For my movie viewing experience, I learned that I'm not the only one who struggles with picking media to consume. My roommate and I both had difficulty finding something we wanted to watch, and this only compounded because there were two of us that needed to settle on a movie. We spent a total of 9 minutes scrolling through Netflix menus before we even started a movie. The research I conducted is relevant because it reveals a counterintuitive truth. More selection is not always better. It can be overwhelming to have so many choices of media to consume. I can't be the only one who feels the same way, as I saw firsthand that my roommate had the same problem. A lot of time is wasted on phones or TVs trying to find the right show or video on YouTube to watch. Is there a solution to this? Perhaps this curated song lists and movies you might be interested in because you watched such and such a show list? This could help solve it, but in the end, there's still just so many options.